Imagine this: you're reading the latest headline, and it says, China overtakes the European Union in economic power. Wait, what? Could that really happen? For decades, Europe has been one of the world's largest and most influential economies. But now, there's a rising challenger from the East, China. So, who's winning the economic game? Is China just a temporary player, or is Europe in real danger of being overtaken? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand how these two global economic giants stack up and what their future holds for you, me, and the entire world. This is not just an academic comparison, it's something that affects our everyday lives. But first, let me ask you, what happens when two massive economies compete for global dominance? You might be thinking it's just trade wars and market manipulation. But what if it's something deeper, something far more complex? What if the real battle isn't just about money? Let's kick things off by understanding the foundations of these two powerhouses. What makes an economy dominant? Is it size, growth rate, or influence? Let's start with China, the dragon that has been rising for decades. In the 1980s, China was a relatively poor country. Fast forward to today, and it's the world's second-largest economy just behind the US. The scale of this growth is mind-blowing. In 2023, China's GDP reached $18 trillion, growing at a rate of 6.5%, while Europe's combined GDP was $17 trillion, growing at only 1.2%. China is a manufacturing titan and has become the world's largest exporter, with nearly 30% of global manufacturing output. From smartphones to clothing, cars to electronics, China produces and exports goods at an unprecedented level. But here's the twist. While China's growth is impressive, it's also built on a very different system compared to Europe. Unlike Europe's collective approach, China's government plays a massive role in shaping the economy, controlling major industries, directing investments, and pushing technological advancements at lightning speed. In 2023 alone, China invested $22 billion into AI research and development, positioning itself as the global leader in artificial intelligence. Meanwhile, China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, has poured over $4 trillion into infrastructure projects across Africa, Asia, and Europe. These investments are increasing China's economic presence globally. Now, let's talk about Europe. The European Union is a collection of 27 nations, and while it's not a single country like China, its combined economy is one of the largest in the world. Europe is home to powerhouse economies like Germany, France, and Italy. These countries, together, have one of the most diverse and advanced economies globally. But here's the catch: while China thrives with its centralized power, Europe operates under a very different system. Europe has to balance the interests of its individual member states, which can lead to slower decision-making and less unified strategies. This structure allows for a lot of economic power, but it also limits its ability to respond quickly to global shifts. Now, don't tune out just yet, because we're about to dive into something even more mind-blowing. What happens when two economies try to control the future of trade? What happens when China and Europe both start positioning themselves to control global supply chains, high-tech industries, and even currency markets? Here's where things get really interesting. As we enter the second act, let's talk about the future. Both China and Europe have major plans to shape the global economy. Who's got the upper hand? First, let's look at China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. This is China's global infrastructure project aimed at connecting China with Asia, Africa, and Europe through trade routes. As of 2023, China has already invested $4 trillion in infrastructure, helping to boost global trade across continents. The idea is simple: China wants to increase its global influence by becoming the go-to trading partner for countries across the globe. And it's working. China is now the biggest trading partner for more than 120 countries. In contrast, Europe, with its combined focus on sustainability, has invested $100 billion into green energy, electric vehicles, and sustainability projects, aiming to lead the global green economy. Europe is positioning itself as the global leader in the green revolution, with countries like Germany investing heavily in electric vehicle production. But here's the problem. Can these strategies sustain Europe's position as a global economic powerhouse? China's BRI could potentially outpace the Europe's green initiatives, especially if China continues to develop its manufacturing capacity at this speed. In 2023, China manufactured over 50% of the world's electric vehicles, while the Europe produced only 22%. Who's going to win the race for future economies? The answer might shock you. Now, let's take a look at the current balance of power. On one side, you have China's rapid growth and its technological advancements. On the other, you have the Europe, a diverse but fragmented economy with long-standing global relationships. When you compare China's growth rate to that of the Europe, the numbers are clear. China is growing faster. But there's a deeper question here. Is growth alone enough to secure global dominance? China's government is able to direct resources and investments to the areas it wants to grow, whether it's tech, infrastructure, or energy. Meanwhile, the Europe's economy is more decentralized and less responsive to sudden changes in the global market. But here's a kicker. The Europe has something China doesn't, a unified market that spans 27 countries. While it may be fragmented politically, economically, it's a juggernaut. In 2023, the euro was the second most traded currency globally, with a trading volume of $6.5 trillion, far surpassing China's yuan, which stood at $400 billion. And don't forget about the euro, the second largest global currency by volume after the US dollar. The Europe still holds a powerful position in global trade, despite all the challenges it faces. So who's really winning? Are China's fast-growing tech industries enough to surpass the Europe's long-standing global ties? And here's the thing, you haven't even heard the most important factor yet. What happens when both these economies start competing for control over technology and innovation? That's where things get really exciting, and you're going to want to stick around for the final reveal. Cliffhanger time. Here's where it gets wild. The future is all about digital economies and AI. Both China and the Europe are investing heavily in artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the digital economy. But who will lead? In 2023, China poured $22 billion into AI research, becoming the global leader in AI applications in industries like surveillance and smart cities. The Europe, on the other hand, is focusing on ethical AI, ensuring that AI is developed with human rights in mind. But here's the question. Which vision will dominate the future? Will the Europe's cautious, ethical approach win out, or will China's rapid-fire deployment of AI technology set the global standard? This battle is far from over, and the next few years could be game-changing. But here's my final question to you. Who do you think will come out on top? Is it China's fast-paced growth or the Europe's balanced and innovative approach? The future of the global economy is still up for grabs, and you can bet your future depends on which side wins. Now, I want to hear your thoughts. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. And don't forget, if you want to dive deeper into the global economic shifts and how you can prepare for them, click here for my next video, where I'll show you how to take advantage of these global trends for your career or investments. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. See you in the next one.